Six Flags Fiesta Texas has the best collection of coasters in the Six Flags chain. Their best coasters are world class and they don't really have a bad ride. So in this video I'm going to be counting down the top 10 coasters at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Starting off at number 10 we have Boomerang. This is the standard Vekoma Boomerang and it's nothing special. The reason it's in last place is because it's really stinking rough and as previously mentioned it doesn't do anything special. They are adding new trains to it so that should make it actually enjoyable because it won't be crazy rough, but that still won't make it unique or interesting. At number 9 is RoadRunner Express. This is the final mine train that Aerodynamics manufactured and it shows. This coaster is glossy smooth and has good transitions. It's also like surprisingly forceful. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to make you gray out or anything. It is a family coaster, but some of those low to the ground turns are actually kind of forceful. That being said, it is a family coaster and while it uses the terrain really well, it doesn't really do much. It's just a bunch of helixes, but that's not a bad thing here and it's a really solid family coaster. Number 8 is Goliath. This is your run-of-the-mill Batman clone, although strangely it's not named Batman. This coaster is fine, it's super forceful and fun just like all the other Batman coasters out there, but there's a better Batman clone at SeaWorld San Antonio which is only like 30 minutes away from Fiesta Texas. It doesn't change the fact that this is a good ride, it's just overshadowed by the other coasters at the park and Great White at SeaWorld San Antonio which is only 30 minutes away. Coming in at number 7 is Batman. This is the generic Joker coaster, but it's called Batman here, which is confusing because when someone refers to Batman, I think of that Batman, not this Batman, even though that one isn't Batman and this one is. Confused? Me too, so let's just talk about the Batman free spin coaster. This is the original 4D free spin coaster and it's the best one. I'm not sure why, but it's just so much more out of control than the other Jokers out there. On other 4D free spins, it's super hit or miss whether you flip or not, but on this one, if there's an opportunity to flip, you're going to flip, which makes the ride absolutely crazy, and it almost feels like a different ride model than the other free spins out there, although it does still kind of feel like a flat ride on wheels. Number 6 is Pandemonium. This is one of the most underrated clones out there. These spinning coasters are comically smooth and they have a really good layout. The layout is made even better because the cars spin. If you get a good spin, it's going to be a super disorienting ride, and it also happens to have a crazy airtime moment at the end. That being said, the spinning is hit or miss. Sometimes you don't spin at all, which makes the ride really underwhelming, and other times you spin the entire ride. If you get a ride where you don't spin, this coaster drops down to like number 9 at the park, but if you get a good amount of spin, it's easily number 6, and the last time I rode a Pandemonium, I was spinning the entire time, which is why it's at number 6. At number 5 is Poltergeist. Poltergeist is a spaghetti bowl launch coaster from Premier Rides. This coaster has a super tight footprint, so you're constantly going above and below track, making it really hard to tell where you're going to go next. That creates a super fun and unique ride experience, and adding to that experience is the theming. It's super out of the ordinary for a Six Flags coaster to have theming like this, and it makes the whole ride experience better. Coming in at number 4 is Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster. If you've seen my review, you might be surprised to see it this high on the list, and if you haven't seen my review, you might be surprised to see it this low on the list. To catch everyone up to speed, this coaster is one of the most painful coasters that I have ever ridden. The restraints caused me to be in pain for days, but I did get 2 really good rides before I had my really bad one. Those 2 really good rides are the reason that this coaster is this high up on the list. Wonder Woman is an insane coaster. It has fantastic pacing and amazing airtime, and it also happens to have the worst restraints ever created. If they end up fixing those restraints, which it sounds like they're going to, it's easily number 2 in the park, but at its current state, it can't get any higher than number 4. Speaking of number 2, the number before that is 3, and that's where Superman is. Superman is the best floorless coaster ever built. This thing is a monster. Its elements are huge, and it uses the terrain to near perfection. It has 2 fantastic drops off the quarry wall and one of the biggest loops in the entire world. Unfortunately, it also has the same bad ending as most other floorless coasters. This section is rough, it's boring, and it holds the coaster back from being number 2 at the park. Speaking of number 2 for real this time, it's Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger. This is the best dive coaster out there. It has the best drop of any dive coaster, and that's followed by a really solid layout. On top of that, the coaster actually has theming. It has a full-scale pre-show and story. The theming combined with the excellent ride experience makes this the second best coaster in the park, but it's not the best. At number 1, and a surprise to absolutely no one, is Iron Rattler. Man, what to say about this coaster? It's one of the best coasters on the planet. It has one of the best first drops ever, one of the best inversions ever, and one of the best endings of all time. It's a dang near perfect coaster, but complaining is fun, and to see how I would improve Iron Rattler, that video is right there.